Welcome back to a new video. So in today's video, as you would have already seen from the title and the thumbnail, it is actually a book haul from my trip down to Books Beyond Borders the other day. So those of you who are watching that also follow me on Bookstagram should have seen this reel over here where I filmed my experience going down and getting books. So basically the event that I went for was the $5 to fill a tote event, and yeah, so I brought a tote bag, I brought a friend, and we just went there together and explored what books they had. Okay, so before I go into what books I actually got, I think I should share what Books Beyond Borders is actually about. So they are a social business dedicated to expanding educational opportunities in the developing world, and they believe in the power of business to tackle the world's most pressing problems. Every sale funds a classroom project in Nepal, and even while I was at the bookstore, they also hung up decorations, including a photo exhibition of the literacy projects they are helping to fund in Nepal. The place of the bookstore is actually the Book Barracks. So they're only opened on the weekends. I think if they have events like the Fill a Totes, then they will open on Fridays as well. Actually, you cannot walk into the place. You have to RSVP a ticket, and each ticket admits 2 people. So $5 to be admitted, and then after that to fill a tote it's another $5 per tote bag. So when I got there, there were like tables with different books that you can just take and put into your tote bag, but there were like tables outside as well. But they also have shelves of books where you can browse, and if you're interested in buying them, they have certain prices for different stickers. I can't really remember the prices already. I got 1 book from those shelves, and the rest of the 8 books that I got were from the Fill a Tote Bag event. So without further ado, let me start by showing you what I got. I think if I remember correctly, the first book that I grabbed was the Lux novel Book 1, Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I know that this book was very popular back in the day, and since I saw the first book in the series, I thought why not, and I decided to give it a try, and so this was the first book that I got. Let me read you the blurb at the back. Starting over sucks. When we moved to West Virginia right before my senior year, I had pretty much resigned myself to thick accents, dodgy internet access, and a whole lot of boring until I spotted my hot neighbor with his looming height and eerie green eyes. Things were looking up. And then he opened his mouth. Damon is infuriating, arrogant, stab-worthy. We do not get along at all. But when a stranger attacks me and Damon literally freezes time with a wave of his hand, well, something unexpected happens. The hot alien living next door marks me? What? I don't know what it's about, okay? I just picked it up purely because I know it was popular. You heard me, alien. Turns out Damon and his sister have a galaxy of enemies wanting to steal their abilities, and Damon's touch has me lit up like the Vegas Strip. The only way I'm getting out of this alive is by sticking close to Damon until my alien mojo fades. If I don't kill him first, that is. Oh my god! Yeah, I'm excited to read that. I feel like it'll be a very interesting reading experience. The next book I got, I think it was this one. It's Out of Sight by James Patterson and Brenda Dubois. I think this is a mystery thriller. After a harrowing tour in Afghanistan, intelligence officer Amy Cornwall is eager to return home to her husband and their young daughter. But as soon as she steps into the house, she knows that something is terribly wrong. Her family is missing. The kidnappers leave a message. If she wants to see her husband and daughter alive again, Amy must complete a near impossible task, and she has 48 hours to do it. She'll do whatever it takes to bring them home. Alone, afraid, and officially AWOL, Amy will sacrifice everything to find her family, her career, her reputation, maybe even her own life. That's the second book that I got. Okay, from this point onwards, I can't really remember the order in which I got them already. But okay, I feel like it's going to be a very quick video. Anyway, I guess I'll show these 2 books together. So I feel like they're a set. So I got Magnus Chase and The Sword of Summer, this one, and Magnus Chase and The Hammer of Thor, both by Rick Riordan. The Sword of Summer is the first book and Hammer of Thor is the second book. So I have never read this series. The only books that I've read by Rick Riordan are the Percy Jackson series, and then the Heroes of Olympus series, and as well as the Daughter of the Deep. And I actually haven't picked up any other books since then. So I thought that since I again saw the first book as well as the second book, I decided to just get both and try out. If not, I can always just unhaul it in future. I hope it will be as good. I also haven't reread the Percy Jackson series in a long time, so I'm not even sure if I'll still enjoy those books, but I guess we can try with the Magnus Chase first 2 books in the series. Okay, so let me read you what this is about. My name is Magnus Chase. I'm orphaned and living rough on the streets of Boston, and things are about to get much worse. I was sleeping under a bridge when some guy kicked me awake and said they're after you. Next thing I know, I'm reunited with my obnoxious uncle, who casually informs me that my long-lost father is a Norse god. The gods of Asgard are preparing for war. Apparently, if I can't find the sword my father lost 2,000 years ago, there will be doom. But first, I'm going to die. This is the story of how my life goes downhill from there. That's already 4 books. We are halfway through already. The next book I got, I actually already have a copy at home, but because my own copy was super old and battered, I thought why not get a new copy and unhaul the old one. And so that book is actually Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. Nothing much to say. It's not the first in the series. I can't remember which order it is. I think it's the 3rd, but I'm not very sure. Yeah, I just wanted to have a newer copy to put on my bookshelf. Yes, that's all I'm gonna say about this. The 6th book is Still Alice by Lisa Genova. Is this a mass market paperback? I think so. Oh, it's too reflective. This is quite amusing because I picked it up and I was like, this title is very familiar, and I looked it up, and it's actually a book that I actually have to read this year, because I think I mentioned it in a previous video as well, but on my Bookstagram I'm doing this 12 challenge, so I read 12 books recommended by my friends over on Bookstagram, and this is one of the 12, so I thought like, why not just have a physical copy to go along with it when I get to it this year. I actually can't remember what this is about, so let me read you the blurb. Alice Howland is proud of the life she worked so hard to build. At 50 years old, she's a cognitive psychology professor at Harvard and a world-renowned expert in linguistics with a successful husband and 3 grown children. When she becomes increasingly disoriented and forgetful, a tragic diagnosis changes her life and her relationship with her family and the world forever. At once beautiful and terrifying, Still Alice is a moving and vivid depiction of life with early-onset Alzheimer's disease that is as compelling as A Beautiful Mind and as unforgettable as Ordinary People. Apparently it's a major motion picture as well. Didn't know that this was a story about early onset Alzheimer's. I also didn't know that she's a cognitive psychology professor, which is kind of related because I study psychology in university. So I think this story will be quite touching. Oh, I'm actually like quite looking forward to it now. Not that I wasn't looking forward to it before, but yeah. The second last one already is The Little Coffee Shop of Kabul, and I don't know, it just gave me a lot of cozy vibes just from the title and what I read on the back. So I want to give this a try, even though that I saw the Goodreads reviews and ratings weren't super good for this one. And it kind of reminded me of Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I don't think it will be as good as that, but I also don't know, so we shall see. So it says, one little cafe, 5 extraordinary women. In a little coffee shop in one of the most dangerous places on earth, 5 very different women come together. Sunny, the proud proprietor who needs an ingenious plan, and Fast to keep her cafe and customers safe. Yasmina, a young pregnant woman stolen from her remote village and now abandoned on Kabul's violent streets. Isabel, a determined journalist with a secret that might keep her from the biggest story of her life. Candace, a wealthy American who has finally left her husband for her Afghan lover, the enigmatic Wakil. And Halajan, the 60-year-old then mother whose long-hidden love affair breaks all the rules. As these 5 women discover there's more to one another than meets the eye, they form a unique bond that will forever change their lives and the lives of many others. I hope this gives me cozy vibes. This last one that I got from the Fill a Tote Bag table is 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. Again, a mass paperback. And when I saw this, I was thinking very hard on whether or not I should get it, because in my mind, I knew that I had either this book or The Kite Runner by the same author, but I couldn't remember which one. But I decided to just take it anyway in case it was this one. Turns out when I reached home, I have both. So this is 1,000 Splendid Suns and this is The Kite Runner. So I kind of have an extra copy now, but no worries, I'll just like unhaul it and give it to someone else who wants this copy. Let me just tell you what this story is about. I heard it's a very heartbreaking story. This book doesn't have the blurb, so I'm gonna read from my own copy, okay? Mariam is only 15 when she is sent to Kabul to marry Rashid. Nearly 2 decades later, a friendship grows between Mariam and a local teenager, Layla, as strong as the ties between mother and daughter. When the Taliban takes over, life becomes a desperate struggle against starvation, brutality and fear. Yet love can move a person to act in unexpected ways and lead them to overcome the most daunting obstacles with a startling heroism. That's all I'm going to say about this. The last book that I got, which was from the shelf, so I actually paid for this book separately, is The Lonely Castle in the Mirror. Oh my god. If you watched my mid-year book freak out tag, you would have seen me talk about this book, I think, as my favorite read of the year so far. And I also mentioned that I hope that one day I will be able to get the physical copy to reread and annotate and just experience this story again. And I actually saw this book there. It was $15, I think. So I decided to just get it because one, the copy, it looks as good as new, and I think it's relatively cheaper than if I were to get it elsewhere or like new, or for example. So I'm very happy to have this because it's one of my favorites of 2022. Might be my favorite. I'm very eager to display this on my shelves and just, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Just look at how pretty this is. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Let me read you the blurb. Would you share your deepest secrets to save a friend? In a tranquil neighborhood of Tokyo, 7 teenagers wake to find their bedroom mirrors are shining. At a single touch, they are pulled from their lonely lives to a wondrous castle filled with winding stairways, watchful portraits, and twinkling chandeliers. In this new sanctuary, they are confronted with a set of clues leading to a hidden room where one of them will be granted a wish. But there's a catch. If they don't leave the castle by 5 o'clock, they will be punished. As time passes, they begin to realize only those brave enough to share their stories will be saved. If you haven't heard about this book, or if you have been hesitating to read this book, this is your sign to just read it. Like, oh my gosh, I love this story so much. That's the end of my book haul actually. 9 books. And I actually can't wait to go back to Books Beyond Borders, the Book Barracks again soon. But also my shelves are kind of like overflowing already. So I think I need to do an unhaul soon, which also means I have to read the books before I unhaul them. So it's like, I don't think I mentioned, but I really enjoyed the vibes of the Book Barracks. It was really a super cozy space. It's really just a super comfortable space to be in as well. There's this sitting area with armchairs and sofas, and they have like lights, and it's just super pretty. I mean, you can see from my reel, I think, a bit of it. I hope this intrigues you enough to want to go down there for yourself. Remember to RSVP, and yeah, it's in Singapore. Yeah, I guess this brings me to the end of this video. Please like this video if you liked it, and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I hope you're having a great day whenever or wherever you're watching, and remember to hydrate yourselves, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video.